Hi, let me tell you all about how I went from being obese to an Instagram model. Ever since I was a kid, I enjoyed eating junk food. I was a really skinny child thanks to a great metabolism. I could eat whatever I wanted, whenever I wanted, and I'd still be one of the thinnest girls in my class. I loved it. Since my mom enjoyed fried food as well, and she usually was too busy to cook, we had takeout almost every night. That meant I got to eat fried chicken, french fries, hamburgers, pizza, and other fast food dishes almost daily. I know now that it wasn't healthy and mom should have made me have salads and fruits, but when I was young, I thought it was so cool. I also had a massive sweet tooth, so I would always carry chocolates and candy in my backpack. Mom bought me cupcakes and cookies to have during tea time weekly, and I enjoyed it so much. Everything seemed to be going great until I entered puberty. It was then that my eating habits began to catch up with me. I wish someone had told me about how metabolism can change radically during teenage years. I began gaining weight at an alarming rate. I didn't get too concerned though, since I was really thin, so a few extra pounds weren't going to harm me at all. I kept eating as I always did, munching between meals and having fast food every single night. My mom began working later than usual when I entered high school since I could take care of myself, so I was in charge of my dinners. Imagine how bad it got. I literally didn't have a single vegetable for any of my meals, unless it was deep fried. When I realized something was wrong, it was already too late. I wasn't just a bit overweight. I was having a real problem, and I didn't seem to be able to stop eating. I couldn't fit into any of my clothes, and I began wearing these oversized, unflattering clothes. I felt so uncomfortable with my body, I didn't want anyone to notice me. When I was younger, I had been so sociable, such a happy little kid. I became a really depressed teenager, and that only made things worse. The more depressed I felt, the more I ate. And the more I ate, the fatter I became. It was a terrible, vicious cycle, and I couldn't escape it. I tried to drop out of school because other students began mocking me and bullying me every single day. I would lock myself in my room, and my mom didn't know what to do about my attitude. She wanted to help me, but didn't know how to. In the end, she ended up taking me to see a therapist and a nutritionist. Both of them together helped me understand I needed to turn my life around and take charge of my terrible eating habits. I decided enough was enough. I didn't need food to feel happy. In fact, I felt absolutely miserable and had all the delicious food I wanted. So what did that do for me? My mom hired a personal trainer for me to work out 3 times a week, and I continued to see both my shrink and my nutritionist on a regular basis. I began working so hard on improving my life and eating right. I have to admit that once in a while I messed up along the way, but I got healthier and healthier every passing day. I began actually enjoying eating salads and replaced candy with fruits. In the end, I completely transformed my body. Excited about my progress, I began posting my pictures online. They became an overnight sensation. That was when I had an idea. Why not make a bit of profit out of my pictures? So I decided to become an Instagram model. I became really popular online. In a matter of months, I had so many followers and comments, most of which were positive. I got a few trolls, but that was to be expected. There are mean people everywhere in the world. Some brands began sponsoring me, and I got amazing clothes to wear as well as a handsome check each month. I also got a good share of the ads revenue, so money was really flowing in. The fame was fun, and the money was great, honestly. I could bring home some cash and help mom out when she had done so much for me. I kept working out and explained to my fans how to lead healthy, positive lives. It's fundamental to love oneself to begin with and let go of all the destructive habits that we use to cover up what's really upsetting us. In the end, I decided to close my accounts and quit my job as a model. It was fun while it lasted, but it just felt too fake. I had worked so hard to get where I was, to feel good about myself, and it all seemed to be reduced to appearances. It wasn't about looking pretty and thin. It was about being healthy and feeling happy with myself and the way I looked. I still work out weekly and eat right. Of course, I allow myself a piece of cake and some french fries now and then, but mostly I lead a normal life, eating right and doing exercises to take care of my health. I think that it's important to be happy with oneself and feel comfortable in one's own skin. Everything else is just superficial nonsense. Thanks for watching. Have you ever had to deal with body image issues? And don't forget to subscribe and check out the other videos on the channel.
Hi, my name is Mark, and I have an embarrassing secret to tell you. I'm 22 years old, and if you looked at me today, you'd never realize I was morbidly obese when I was younger. Ever since I was a small kid, I've been obsessed with delicious and unhealthy meals, and it's a hard habit to give up on. I would stuff my face every single day with the greasiest food I could find. Pizza, hamburgers, fries, it was all fair game. I also refused to drink any water, and instead would ask for candy, soda, and all other kinds of sugary drinks. Mom and Dad were very permissive, and that helped me to get away with just about anything I wanted. And what I wanted was food, food, and more food. I don't think I had more than a salad a month back when I was a kid. Eating vegetables that weren't deep fried seemed like a total waste to me. Honestly, at first, I didn't mind being fat at all. I mean, if that was what happened when you ate half a dozen donuts a day, I was fine with it. All I could think of was sinking my teeth into more and more delicious food. I'm not kidding when I say I was kind of addicted to greasy food. It was as if I couldn't get enough of it, and the fatter I got, the more I could fit in my stomach. That was, of course, incredibly harmful to my body, but I didn't seem to mind. By the time I turned 11, I weighed 200 pounds. I was also kind of short, so you can imagine how much that weight looked in a kid my size. I was too young to be that fat, but I just shrugged it off. My mom and dad were really worried about me. They tried everything to make me understand that it was not a healthy way of living. Mom tried cooking me healthy food in yummy ways, but I would throw tantrums until they got me what I wanted. We ordered takeout almost every night, and I was so happy when the pizza or hamburgers arrived. Then Dad tried to get me into sports. He took me to soccer games, then to baseball tryouts. He even tried to get me to enjoy swimming or jogging, but I would never show any interest. I just rolled my eyes and told him I would rather go back home and have some lunch. He grew very frustrated by this, but didn't like seeing me upset. Yes, I know, my parents were too permissive, but they really did have the best intentions at heart. They didn't just shrug it off and allow me to do anything I wanted. They just didn't know how to deal with a kid who seemed so obsessed with the idea of food. I really talked about it all the time, and whenever I was not eating, I was thinking about eating. Mom and Dad tried everything over the years. At first, they talked to me and explained how having such an unhealthy diet would lead to big problems in the future. I could have heart problems, they explained, but I just shrugged it off. I didn't really care at all back then. I was young and couldn't imagine getting sick just because I liked greasy food. Eventually, they even tried filling the fridge with only healthy food. That didn't work because I used my allowance to buy myself a delicious meal instead. Mom and Dad decided it would be a good idea to send me to therapy to work out my issues. I didn't want to go, but they said I had to. So I would just go there and sit in front of the therapist without really paying any attention to her. We talked a bit, but that was it. I never gave it a real chance, and no matter how good the shrink is, if the patient isn't willing to change, it's not going to work. My therapist really did try to teach me and make me understand that my habits were harmful and unhealthy, but I shrugged it off. To me, all these people just wanted to ruin something that made me happy. I continued going to therapy for a full year before my parents realized it was pointless. Until I wanted to make a change, no one would be able to convince me otherwise. So, not seeing any progress, they tried something else, something that was really not a good idea at all. They began trying to reward me with gifts and money whenever I agreed to eat healthy food or run for a while in our backyard. You can imagine how badly that went. I would force myself to munch on a few veggies, then Mom would give me money, and I'd go out and buy myself a big greasy hamburger. It was an exercise in futility. It took my mom and dad a while to realize what I was doing with the extra money. They were mad and disappointed, but by then I didn't really care. I wasn't a nice teenager, I have to admit. But I've grown a lot since those years. I can't imagine how worried my parents must have been back then. No matter what they tried, nothing seemed to reach me. The worst part is, even my friends at school tried to help me. Instead of bullying or teasing me, they offered me a helping hand. I know now that I should have taken it. They were so kind to me and wanted to be there for me. I just shrugged it off and told them I was happy the way I was. By my freshman year of high school, I was weighing over 500 pounds. It was way too much for any person, but especially for a 15-year-old. I could barely walk around without losing my breath, and I could eat so much in a single sitting that I had to buy family platters just to avoid going hungry. The people in my life were really worried about me, and Mom would try to talk to me about my health every single night. She was clearly incredibly upset, and she had tried everything to help me, but nothing seemed to work. My friends began insisting I should take better care of myself, and they refused to sit with me if I bought greasy food for lunch at school. They were really trying to help me and be supportive, but I ignored them over and over again. They tried a different approach next, and told me how I would probably not be able to get a date until I lost some weight. It might sound like something mean to say to me, but they really did have the best intentions at heart. They wanted to find something that would motivate me to get in a diet. All my friends were really worried about me. I shrugged it off and told them I didn't need a date. I just needed another pizza. You can imagine they didn't take it well. They explained that they cared about me and that I had to stop eating the way I did, but I told them to mind their own business. Eventually, when it became hard for me to stand up from the ground one day as we were all hanging out at the park, I realized something was definitely wrong. People had been telling me how unhealthy my habits were for years. It finally hit me. I couldn't fit into any normal clothes. I was constantly tired and out of breath. I couldn't even see my feet over my gut any longer. Something was definitely wrong, and I had to do something about it. So for the first time in my life, when I turned 16, I asked my mom and dad for help. They were surprised and so relieved. I explained I wanted to see a nutritionist, and they agreed immediately. I got a strict meal plan to follow from her, and she recommended I also get a personal trainer. Mom and Dad were more than happy to pay for it. They even bought me a gym membership and told me how proud they were of my decision. I won't tell you guys it was easy. I had a lot of relapses, times I thought about just quitting and having a big pizza all by myself. I wanted to give up and just lay on my bed all day instead of going to the gym. But my mind was made up. I was going to lose weight and get healthy no matter what. I couldn't keep on living that way. Not only was I a complete mess, but I finally understood I would not likely live much longer if I kept up my unhealthy habits. My friends helped me every step of the way. They went out running with me, and some even went on a diet with me as well to keep me from being tempted by what they ate around me. They were super supportive and would make a big fuss of my accomplishments. This made me really proud of myself. I had never before worked so hard for anything in my life, and it felt good. I won't say it was easy working out every single day and giving up on fried food, but it was worth the effort. Over the course of 3 years, I lost 200 pounds. I was determined to keep going until I reached a healthy weight. I'm much happier now. I actually have energy to spare, and my health is so much better. I also don't have my face covered with bad acne like when I was a young kid. You can imagine what all that greasy food did for my skin back then. Now I have a nice complexion, and what's better, I can actually wear normal clothes I buy from any store. I don't have to go to a special place to get extra big pants or anything like that. I even got a girlfriend for the first time in my life, and it feels good. She is really supportive of me, and never made fun of the fact that I was morbidly obese. She loves to go out jogging with me and encourages me to eat healthy food. She's a chef, so she can make even veggies taste amazing without frying them or anything of the sort. Have to tell you, Mom and Dad are also so proud of me, and it feels good. I spent so much time during my teenage years sneaking out to enjoy fatty food, making them worry sick about me. Now that I lead a healthier lifestyle, they can actually breathe a bit easier, and I know they deserve that kind of peace of mind. They are amazing parents who love me to bits, and I know not everyone is lucky enough to get that. Have to admit that from time to time I also indulge myself. I have a few allowed greasy meals per month, and I really enjoy them. I don't go overboard though, and go back to my diet the very next day. My nutritionist says it's alright, and that will actually help keep me motivated. Thanks for watching. Do you have any unhealthy habits you struggle to overcome? Please tell us in the comment section. Don't forget to subscribe, and check out the other amazing videos in the channel. Hey guys, Mark here. Just wanted to make sure you're all aware we now have a Facebook page. The link is down below in the description, so go over there and give it a like or a follow. And if you find these videos entertaining, share it with your friends and family. We'd really appreciate that.